The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good Monday morning. Happy 2025. Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony in for Dan Proft while Dan hits the little white ball down the fairway.
Somewhere warm.
Well, he's always somewhere warm. I think he's in a tournament.
Oh.
We have to check it out, but it's a golf tournament or a golf outing that lasts a few days. So thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Always a busy news day when you're here.
It is. And
2 weeks from today, Inauguration Day. And on Friday, Judge Juan Merchan, or how do you pronounce his name?
Merchan,
yes, decided that he is going to sentence Trump this Friday for crimes against humanity. For the hush money case that was not a hush money case.
Yeah.
This is just another one of those I got yous.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump is. I've got his response here. He just took to Truth Social, basically blasting the judge and the whole process and blaming this on the Biden administration because they try to take him down time and time and time again. He can either show up to the courtroom on Friday or he can do it virtually.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't what?
I wouldn't show up.
You wouldn't show up?
Nope. I'm the president of the United States of America. Come to the White House. You know where I'm at.
It's going to be this what? The sentence is going to be an unconditional discharge, which means Trump is going to effectively not be punished for his conduct. And here is ABC 7 describing this. Hold on, stand by. Well, I can't find it.
Uh-oh.
But that's okay. That's what that's what is going to have to happen. But I think he has to show up.
Yeah.
That's part of the process.
Okay.
I think this is entirely stunning. We did not know what Judge Juan Merchan was going to do. He has rejected all of Trump's attempts to outright dismiss the criminal case following his conviction in May on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. But there was this uncertainty about what it would mean for a president-elect to be sentenced in a criminal case. Could it be pushed for 4 years and have it hanging over Trump that entire time? And now we know the answer. Judge Juan Merchan has ordered Trump to appear either in person or virtually on January 10th, 10 days before the inauguration, to be sentenced. Now, the sentence is going to be an unconditional discharge, which means Trump is going to effectively not be punished for his conduct. And the judge said he does not want to interfere with the separation between the judicial and the executive branch, does not want to interfere with notions of presidential immunity. But he is, I think, signaling that there is a jury verdict. It needs to be respected. And so he is going to order Trump to appear for sentencing, even though that sentence effectively isn't going to be much of anything.
With more on this, let's welcome back to the program Steve Bucci. Served America for 3 decades as an Army Special Forces officer and top Pentagon official. Is a visiting fellow in the Heritage Foundation's Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies. Good morning, Mr. Bucci. How are you?
I am well. Happy New Year, and thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it was kind of a Friday surprise. I believe the timing is everything when we found out that Judge Merchan wants him to was going to go through with this and actually sentence a former president and soon to be current president of the United States.
Yeah, this is, totally unprecedented. The follies of this particular court is kind of ridiculous. This is the latest twist. Instead of just admitting, okay, look, we tried to take Trump down, but it failed, so let's just roll with it. He's president now. They're trying to get their last licks in with this kind of thing, where they're not going to punish him with anything, but they want to still tar his name. He doesn't even have to show up. He can do it virtually, which I would agree. I wouldn't show up either. I wouldn't give this any more dignity than than it deserves. So hook in by Zoom, say, yeah, what do you got, Judge? Take it, say thank you very much, and then continue the appeals. Because I think as it gets to a higher court, it's going to get thrown out. But Merchant's not going to admit defeat.
But they're using their positions of power against a political enemy. Is there any recourse for their actions? I mean, could they face any charges or pay for what they've done to President Trump?
That I don't know. I can check with some of my lawyer buddies there at Heritage, who got a lot more depth in the specifics of the law than I do. But I'm not sure Trump wants to waste any more time. I think he'll just turn his his lawyers loose and say, you guys handle this. Let me know how it works out. But I don't think he's going to accept, having his name tarred this way, even if it comes with no punishment.
Yeah, and Trump replied on Truth Social on Saturday, corrupt judge or judges so blinded by their hatred of me and my political ideology to make America great again are making a mockery of the United States judicial system, and the world is watching in disgust. And he went on to talk about Jack Smith, the evil and sinister prosecutor appointed by crooked Joe Biden to take him down was found to be illegally appointed by a corrupt DOJ and FBI. And then they raided his home at Mar-a-Lago with one of the dirtiest tricks ever, perpetrated by one candidate as dumb as a rock, Sleepy Joe Biden. I mean, he just went off on all of this. But, that's why I love Trump and I'm supported this time around. They have thrown everything at him. I mean, can you imagine one lawsuit going on, but then you have a civil charges and then you have criminal charges on top of that, and he keeps going.
Yeah, well, especially when you look at these particular cases, and they're not exceptional. There's lots of people who have been accused of these things or done these things and get nothing. Bill Clinton paid hush money multiple times.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Nobody ever took him to he went through a legal process the same way Trump did. They signed a deal that gets him from admitting that he did anything, but he said, okay, to keep you quiet, I'll take your extortion and here's some money. And then the stuff over the real estate dealings, that's really ludicrous. When the banks you borrowed the money from come in and say, no, this is a perfectly normal, legitimate deal. This is how we do it. This is how we do it with everybody. And by the way, Trump paid us back in full early. We'd do business with him again anytime. But no, the judge knows more than the people in the real estate business. And for him, it's a crime. It's baffling to me how the judicial community doesn't rise up and say, look, we don't necessarily like this guy either, but what you're doing is wrong. Stop. You're embarrassing the entire profession. But they have it. I guess, as Trump says, their hatred for him is just so over the top that they can't see how ridiculous it looks for them professionally.
Yeah, and people forget John Edwards and what he did as it related to campaign funds. That was far worse, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And no mention of it. But, I'm shocked that this didn't happen before today, because I don't know, Amy, I don't know if you have that audio of Congressman Jamie Raskin, basically saying that they're going to do everything they can to stop this election from being certified because of the 14th Amendment.
Here it is.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means.
So, Stephen, will there be some shenanigans today in certifying the election?
I think there probably will be at least verbal attempts at this. I don't think the rest of Congress is going to buy it, fortunately, and I think they'll be able to certify the results. But, gee, I thought you weren't allowed to challenge an election once it occurred, and if you challenged it, whether it was within the laws or not, that's somehow tantamount to treason. But I guess it's okay if you're a Democrat. It's just not okay if you're a Republican. Look, if we have a system that says, here's how you challenge an election, and then somebody does it, how in the world can that be an insurrection?
Right.
So I think that these so-called convictions and what they're raising now are a house of cards anyway. They were not legitimate, and to then say that it's okay now for us to not certify the results. But boy, when you guys talked about it, it was the end of the republic. It's just baffling to me that these particular Dems, the January 6th committee members specifically, see no irony in what they're doing and how they're doing it. It's just baffling. So I hope it goes smoothly. We don't need another big conflagration to split the country even more. Look, Congressman, Trump won the election. He won it handily. He won both the popular vote and the electoral college. Give it up. Go back to doing your job. But I guess they don't like to do that. They like to be TV stars instead. And we're stuck with this. But I hope it goes very smoothly and without controversy today. But I'm not holding my breath.
Well, we know over the weekend, President Biden handed out a few medals.
Oh, yeah, I have the list
you do?
here. Mm-hmm.
Who's on that list?
Well, you have Bono, U2 singer.
I can see that one.
He's not he's not an American citizen, but okay. Michael J. Fox, I
see that one.
I can definitely, Magic Johnson, like that. Lionel Messi, not born in America. But then, looky here, George Soros and Hillary Clinton. What do you think of that? George Soros, who gave $32 billion to Democratic candidates and states attorney contests throughout the country to put in liberal essays.
Yeah.
No, he didn't show up. His son got the Medal of Freedom, took it. I don't know why he was a no-show, but what do you think about all this, Stephen?
Look, I'm with you. Lionel Messi, look, he's a great soccer player, but it's not like he's Pele, somebody that was a great soccer player for decades and decades and decades, and but he's not an American. Why is he getting the Medal of Freedom?
I don't know.
Just come on.
Same with Bono, but didn't Bono didn't he sing at some of Kamala Harris's campaign events?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is not even thinly disguised payback for political support, and just I think with the case of Soros, it's a definite quid pro quo for money. You remember how crazy everybody went when Elon Musk suddenly was full up supporting President Trump. Oh my God, a billionaire, affecting our elections. This is terrible. Yeah, it's okay when their billionaire is affecting elections, and he's done it in more insidious ways. Soros doesn't just support the presidential candidate. He's down in local elections, city DAs, attorneys general in the states. He is trying to literally change and has done a lot of work in that direction, and it's horrific to then turn around and give him the Medal of Freedom. It's like, dude, this guy is so far from fostering freedom, it's ridiculous. He's fostering the dissolution of the American system if he's allowed to get away with it. He needs to be stopped, not rewarded for what he's done.
And they're complaining, the Democrats. Soros gave $32 billion. Elon Musk, he's only given $250 million. Not
Yeah.
even close to the $32 billion that George Soros has given over the decades.
But I'll tell you, I can hear it now from Democratic friends I have. You put those two bits of information side by side, and you know what they'll say? Oh, but this is different.
Oh yeah, right.
And because it's always different when they do it. And these are people that are educated, smart. They're not ideologues, but they have so drank a Kool-Aid that if a progressive does this stuff, it's got to be legitimate. But if a conservative does it, it's got to be the end of the republic. And I'm sorry, we need to stop this political theater, look at the facts and judge the facts for what they are, and then make a decision. But this stuff is ludicrous. And Joe is wrapping up the most lackluster presidency in history with, pardons, more giveaways, now the Medal of Freedom. Okay, the Medal of Honor stuff he did, I did a tweet and I said, this is the first time I think I've agreed with anything Joe Biden did. General Cavasso, some of these other guys, you read their citations and it's like, yeah, these guys should have gotten the Medal of Honor a long time ago.
Yep.
But all these other stuff, these medals of freedom, the pardons, the things that have gone on, he's just heaping more shame on himself. He probably didn't even realize he's doing it. Probably by today, he's forgotten he gave away those medals.
Well, on this list, Ralph Lauren, fashion designer, didn't
really.
he clothe the first lady these past 4 years? I don't know. It's just all paybacks, that's for sure. All right, John, did you?
Yeah. There's a guy on Twitter. He said he's a former National Security Council member, and he's afraid that Donald Trump will not come in and remove every single member of the council. Joe Biden did when he came into presidency. If you look back, remember Alexander Vindman was on that council, and he was the one that brought forth the impeachment against Ukraine. Why is it important that Trump completely clean house as it relates to the National Security Council? Because this guy, he's saying that there's some people that are clinging and wanting to stay on that he thinks is going to be detrimental to another Trump term.
I think he's absolutely right. Look, all of those people we're talking about, like Vindman, are low-level functionaries. It's supposed to be a couple-of-year assignment, but military assignments and government service employee assignments, they can switch them out in a heartbeat. They can definitely switch out political appointees. To say that these people have some sort of right or need to stay there is completely false. It's a lie. So the president needs to remove all those folks and bring in people that he trusts that are in line with his policies. They're not independent actors. They are people that are there to serve the president and the president's policy initiatives. So it is perfectly fine, legal, and smart for them to completely remove that whole group. They're just the supporting people. They're not the National Security Council. The National Security Council are the cabinet members.
Right.
These guys are just their clerks and their research people. And they need to be people that are in line with this presidency, not the last one or the one under President Obama, which is what some of them ended up being.
All right, Stephen Bucci, we're going to have to leave it there for today. He served America for 3 decades as an Army Special Forces officer and top Pentagon official, also a visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation's Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies. Stephen, thank you so much, and we'll have you back next week.
Thank you.
Sounds good. See you then.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I am a senior citizen, and actually I've seen the commercials, and I started taking it because I thought, well, that sounds like a really good idea.
Well, I saw it. We watch Fox News, and I saw it on there, so I thought to order them. And I'm telling you, it's terrific stuff.
It makes me feel good. So me and my wife both enjoy it, you know.
Because I can't do it without my Balance of Nature.
We've maintained it without taking a lot of food supplements we had been taking. We stopped. and are just using Balance of Nature supplements.
Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal.